Hey guys, Nancy Drew, the final scene. Good game for the first four parts, and then we had the ending on Monday. Yeah, that was fun having to deal with the bug. Um, I think it's because you're supposed to have that ring out ready to flash them, and if you don't, it freezes on you. It's a weird system. But I think it's because you get stuck, you get locked into that place until the building gets destroyed. So you have to have that ring on a second chance to come in and flash him the second he gets into your face. Anyways, I just like spoiled like who it could be. Luckily, most of them are males. If you guys don't know the ending of the final scene of Nancy Drew, go watch the series and watch the ending that came out Monday. Please. Anyways, spoiler alert out of the way. Basically, Nancy Drew is helping a friend again enter a. It's called the Royal Palladium, which was a big theater, not like a movie theater, but a theater to show entertainment. And it had mostly big actors like Houdini and all that. And he, it was a very big one. And then we have J.J. Thompson, who's the original creator of this building. He has this like huge inspiration of all these things coming up and being entertainment. I believe it turns into a movie theater in the 1930s. But he eventually gets the lack of money and can't pay the employees for the work they do. So I'm trying to remember what it all was. So you're coming to with your friend to do a scoop on a actor that that is playing at the very final thing that's gonna be shown there. And his name is Brady Armstrong is the actor she's gonna interview, and she has a few things to kind of go over with him about the whole what's happening. And what's happening is the descendant, the grandson of J.J. Thompson, wants to demolish the Palladium and make it into something else. And it's because of like the huge heaping hole that repairs take, which it's weird. Fixing versus the demolition, the cost is very weird. Is like putting a little bit more love into it is a few thousand. Demolishing things nowadays, it can be millions. Like a school alone is like $5 million to demolish, and it's ridiculous. Anyways, so Nancy goes with her friend. She goes in for a scoop. As soon as Nancy's got to go get some snacks, she gets kidnapped, and it's like, well, why didn't you just rip open the door the second you heard your name? Rip, hello. But anyways, you go in, no one's in there. You go looking around, and you meet the actor who just came in, and it's like, where were you that you couldn't be here for the interview? Anyway, you kind of like, he's an actor with an ego, so you're like, screw you, I'm gonna go find my friend. Well, actually, he actually says that he'll go searching for her. So you find a secret passage, take that all the way to the other Star's room, which ends up being just his agent, who's a. You can hear me in the entire gameplay. Is just I want to fold her. It's just how bad of a person she is. Just like I do it for the money, darling. You do it for the stardom. It's like. Eek. Okay. Well, anyways, it is funny how Nancy responds to her half the time. Anyways, she's like, get out of my dressing room. I have business to do. So you run off. You run into... I'm trying to remember. I think you run into Nick, who is like a activist that is like the main activist of an activist group known as Hadit, and he does some shady stuff. Anyways, you also meet an old man who's like a caretaker of the Royal Palladium, Joseph, or just Joe. We'll call him Joe. And he tells you what to do as well. And both Nick and him are like, there's a phone booth there's a phone in the ticket booth. Go use it. You use it to call up the missing persons unit. They can't do anything because there's no evidence, no big reasoning until 24 hours later. So you have to wait until tomorrow anyways to have anything happen. And that's really it. It's just like you search a little bit around the rooms, you talk to everyone, meet everyone. They know about the kidnapping, but the activist is just saying that's a good reasoning for like the activists to have a reason against the Palladium. Joseph is like, oh dear, I gotta help you. Brady's trying to be a hero, but Simone, I don't know if she says it this day, but she's like, oh, this is great. Instead of let's of course cancel the play. Let's not make it a big scene. Let's make another big scene about my actor being a big hero, about trying to find and save your friend. And it's like, get out of my face, lady. But anyways, after you contact the police, Joe was overhearing them saying that they can't do anything. He sends you home. Then the next day, it's like you look around, you find a few things. In day one, you find a few things. In day two, you find a few things. You go solve, like... I'm trying to remember. So you can't get into the magician room. I'm trying to remember. So if you're able to get the hook onto a crate, pull it up, you find a trapdoor that gets you into the side room to the magician's room. It shows you one of those card genies. And basically, if you're able to win, you get a flash ring. It was the ace of spades you have to get, but you get a flash ring and a piece of paper how to use it. You go over to this little safe. You have to do all 5 as ace of spades. You get into a mural of a lady. You get into that. You get a note that basically is from J.J. Thompson saying, hey, I can't pay Houdini for... basically, he makes a deal with Houdini that he can't have his great escape happen. He can't have, like, his water chained up escape happen, so he makes a deal that he'll give him, I think, $10,000, and Houdini's able to escape, and JJ owes him the money, but guess what? JJ's in financial trouble right now. Sounds like someone shouldn't have made a bet in the first place. Anyways, I believe it was supposed to be a big event that made some traction. But anyways, he ends up suggesting that he'll give Houdini 50% of the Palladium's ownership if he would forget the cost of the bet, which is like, so that means technically Houdini owns half of it, which means J.J. Thompson's grandson that's trying to demolish it doesn't have the rights to demolish it unless he has the okay by the other owner. And basically, you go to the activist Nick, say, hey, this is a thing, you could use this, and he goes searching, and I believe you're able to get a number off one of his pamphlets that lets you call for blueprints about getting around the trapdoors. Find out that the original plans that were like before the movie theater update has gone missing, so you can't figure out where all the trapdoors are. So now you have to go find them out yourself. Trying to remember all the stuff. I think you could go around talking. I'm trying to remember all of it. Okay, and there's a conference talk about the kidnapping that is happening. Simone sets up a conference, making it blow up that some girls gonna be kidnapped in this building that's gonna be demolished in the next day. And Brady's just being the speech heroic person. So it's a weird thing. Joseph before that says that he's got plans after the demolition to take some money he's got saved up to go with his brother to a nearby town to make his own little restaurant or movie theater. Which after he goes out try to do some crowd control, you look at a letter saying that his brother had died, so that won't happen. So you have Simone who's basically making up the death, which actually while they're out there in the conference, you can go into the bag, find out that she ordered a decorative forgot what it's called, but it's basically a flower arrangement saying that this person is dead, and it was basically supposed to be the note from a kidnapper that she set up so there'd be something for the press to look at. So you find that. I think you can go into Brady and find out that he's very against the ideals that Simone's giving him, so he wants to break out of control over her and go do it. I'm trying to remember all of this stuff. Shoot, I'm trying to remember all the things right now. I believe, if I can, that there is somewhere. I'm trying to remember where it was. I believe there is a piece of paper that tells you that there is a cage that will descend, that when it descends, it opens up a trap door, and you can take that trap door to a side room to a magician's room. So while everyone's at the doing their own thing, you're able to mess with the controls, get down there onto the stage, get through a trapdoor. You find Maya through a peeping hole. You're able to, thanks to Joseph handing you a can of WD-40, you're able to lube up a puzzle, be able to do it, get into the magician's room. But guess what? She's gone. You find a shoe and some pizza boxes. You get out, basically say she's gone. You tell Joseph you tell Joseph about it. Then you go tell the police about it. And the police basically said, thanks to your evidence, I guess we will come see it tomorrow. But, we're still kind of skeptical about it because there's activists around the whole situation. It might just be, they may have removed her to get away from the scene and try to get kind of a way to stop the demolition. But so you go talk to Joseph and all that, tell him about all that stuff, and that's a bad idea, telling someone there's evidence and when you don't know if it's the kidnapper or not. Well, next day you find out that, it's the demolition day, that the evidence has went missing, the police call you crazy, and that you were seeing stuff, and take it as there is going to be no kidnapped girl in the building, so demolition is still on. And here's the bad thing, is you're basically doing a lot of the stuff. A thing that I forgot to mention but day 2, was that while on the first day you tell Nick about the connection with Houdini, he goes and finds the last known relative. You call her. She's like, hey, I know this guy that might have the documents because I gave up all the documents to a museum kind of sort, like a document for like the United States. And basically you call him and was like, can I get something shipped over for them? And he's going to go searching for it. And he tells you the next day it'll come in. So it's going to come in on the demolition day. Anyways, eventually you go talk to Simone, call her out for the reef. That's what it's called. She confesses and says, and also says, "Oh well, things are things," and you also mention about Brady's uncomfortableness with her, holding of his hand, and she's like, "Well, I just cut off his ponytail, and he's being a crybaby." You talk to him. Oh, Brady, you can talk to him before Simone, and he basically has a little, you're not supposed to be talking to Nick. He's this horrible guy. And then when you come back, you can get into his bag, find Maya's journal and a few other things. And he comes in, and oh, wow, guess what? He's the grandson of Thompson. It's just Brady is the Armstrong is basically just a bullcrap name for like, it's like an author's side name to kind of give him another name else than his own. And basically, since he has 50% of the... He technically thinks he owns the place. So he's going to demolish it and build a Tinseltown. I forgot what the whole thing is. Basically, he's going to remodel it for his own kind of business and get rid of Simone and do his own choice of things. And basically it's like, Maya's still in the building, man. You gotta, call off the demolition until she's found or dealt with. And he's like, your activist friend that kind of tells me that with you having an activist friend, she's not in this building anymore. You're just trying to hold me from doing what I'm supposed to. You run to Nick. He tells you that the package from that one guy for holding the documents of Houdini came in. You go get it, take it. It's a slide. You put it in the sliding machine. You can see it. Oh, great! Guess what? It doesn't mean crap. It's mentions about the palladium, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't give him. I think it's someone else is asking about it, but and in the end it doesn't matter. But a bulb blows up, so you go to fix it. Hear that there's blueprints of a slide that's in there, so you go put that in. There's a whole problem. You find a recorder that for the voice of like over the phone and over the audio, PA. Then you turn around to go do this new blueprints switch, and turns out it's Joseph who's slowly going insane because he was working here for so long that the fact that it's gone is going to make him lose the one thing he's known. So he's kind of like, okay, I have to do this. You can't stop me because this is the only thing I know. And he basically keeps thinking that just because he's got Maya, that the place isn't going to be demolished, when literally they think there is no one in there. Which, by the way, you hid from the cops so no one could figure out that you're there. So basically they're going on with the demolition, and he locks you in there. You use the little secret passage, get upstairs, you open this thing that I didn't even know or see. You run for the door, can't get it, so you turn around and find a thing. You unlock it. It tells you that the grandmother of Nick, who he tells you that her grandma used to do artwork, and the place has got the last little bits of her artwork, and that's why he wants to preserve it. But anyways, I guess she gets departed the document of the 50%. So technically, Nick is the descendant of her. So he owns 50% of it. So basically, there's the agreement. You have to take all these keys, figure out what is to what, find the door, open it, see Maya that she's captured. You see that there's a sign that you can light up to give sign that you're in here. So you gotta follow that back to an electrical box that Joseph is protecting. So before you can even approach the light switch, you have to have the flash ring and piece of paper ready. So that way you can just flash the screwer, get to the box, turn it on, the light flights on it, and it gets canceled. Joseph is arrested, but because Maya may talk it down, like he may have kidnapped me, but it was for a good reason. And while sure it's kind of very improper, give him a light sentence or a light punishment. So hopefully Joseph turns out to have a little bit better of a chance at getting out. Then Brady, in his last ditch attempt to be the hero of the story, comes out as the grandson of Thompson, gives the National Protection Society that protects buildings the other 50% of the building. So Nick owns 50% of it, and society owns the other. So that way, with Nick's help, Nick and Haddad's help, they will fix up the place and make it better than it was and keep it and restore it, basically. Simone, she gets Nancy like, hey, this person made fun of the entire situation, including Baya and Arif, to kind of make a propaganda for the papers. And so Simone loses a lot of her talking point. People don't want to have someone as an agent if that's how far she's gonna go, and if you're attached to that person's gonna get you in trouble. So why be a part of it? That's really it. Maya. Turns out Maya was Joe was gonna kidnap Brady, but Maya was there, and it turns out she was Plan B. Then Maya was gonna kind of uncover that he was Thompson's grandson and to why he was bulldozing the Palladium and all of that, and basically making him look like a fraud. And that's why he didn't help Nancy with any of the case, where Nick's like, okay, I'll give you this hookup. Joseph's like, I'll help you get closer to Maya. I just want to pull her away so there's still a chance that the thing can be fixed. And Simone's over here just dealing with it. So basically, the actor, even though this guy kidnapped a girl, the actor and his agent were the actual villains of the story. Anyways, that's really it. It is a very puzzling story. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.